What's up, guys? Mega Bleeder here with another episode of Stoneblock 4. Between the episodes, I didn't do a whole lot. I was kind of just messing around, brainstorming, didn't do any progression or anything like that. A couple of quality life things. But today, I want to do some more work on our world engine base, possibly get some power set up, and we'll see what happens after that. So let's get started. Okay, so as far as quality of life stuff, we needed a magnet. I upgraded the pocket storage. We had just the tier 1, so I upgraded that just so it can hold a lot more stuff. It can hold 65,000 items in each of these 32 slots here. It says 31, but it also includes 0. So we can hold a whole bunch of stuff. I went and did some mining to get some cobbled deep slate because we are going to be building with that. What I found out about building here in the world engine room is everything for the world engine is going to be contained in this area. So we don't have to worry too much there, but any blocks that are placed down within like the boundary of the world engine itself can't be placed by a player. So if I take a look, like stone, like we can't place stone because like within this bounding box outside of the walls here, there is stone and it is protected. So if you're looking to build in here and you can't place blocks down, that's why. So what I was doing was trying to find blocks that kind of matched it similarly or kind of kept with the theme. And what I came up with was a bunch of these cobbled deep slate beams. And then I was trying to figure out a floor, and actually, I want to use these archwoods, the cascading archwood, the flourishing archwood, and then I also made a wand of symmetry. So we'll place that guy down in the middle there and set it on the octagonal. Let's see. Set it on octagonal. That's going to let it place in each of the 4 corners. What it does, you can kind of see here how it splits it. It splits it on this crisscross axis, and then it also splits it north, south, east, and west. So it'll be really super easy to expand the base. And what I am planning on doing, I need, let's see, 4 blocks of the blue ones, 4 blocks of the green ones. We can do a bunch of these. And what I think I'm going to do is actually move this up another block here. I do want there to still be depth. So I don't want to just put these kind of flat around here, but you can see as I'm placing it, it's got this like white particle, and I just placed down like a whole entire stack all at once. And that's because it's placing it over here and over there and on 8 directions. So we can really quickly place down a floor, or I can break all of them and get them all back. But what I want to do is get some of this fleshed out some more, and then I'll bring you back at what I kind of figured out. Okay, so this is what I ended up with, and I'm pretty happy with it, I think. It looks decent from down below. It's got some green, it's got some blue. Like the rest of the build, it's a little bright on this side, and there's not that much texture. So I don't know, maybe in the future I'll swap out this. The moss was probably the easiest green colored block I can get. I don't have a sheep farm, and I haven't gone, I guess I could have gone and pulled a bunch of copper from like the trial chamber here. Could have done that, but I feel like moss works. I did put a couple of garden cloches down here, and they're just crafting up moss. I built the structures all the way around, but placing down the framed blocks with the moss, it doesn't work with the wand of symmetry. So there's slabs over here, but they're not filled in, and I might end up going with concrete or something in the future. That might end up looking a little bit better, or maybe a green terracotta. Maybe, I do not know, but I think it's pretty decent here. the blue and maybe is there any really any green in there? No, it's just blue. Um, that kind of works pretty well with that. So I think that'll be a good starting point. But what I want to do today is get into, I think, get into biodiesel. As far as power generation here, we've got some heat generators, and I could go, magmators, stuff like that. But I think what I want to do is get right into the diesel generator. I think the gas burning generator to produce power, very high rate. You can expect a full generator produce, 8,000 RF per tick. Maybe I should go this route instead. Although I do want to play with immersive engineering, so I think I'm probably going to do that anyways. So, getting into the biodiesel, we're going to need a refinery multi-block. We're going to need an industrial squeezer and an industrial fermenter. So, what I did, I've got a bunch of steel here, and what we can do, drop some more of those off. So I've got a ton of steel, which is going to be needed. Also over here, I set up our tanks and I just right click them with a configurator. You set the configurator on items. You can click it so it'll automatically output to the bottom. I've got it outputting to this spout. And then there's just a simple little automation here where taking planks out, putting them in there, and then they automatically get processed into treated wood planks, which again, I'm going to need. I know I'm also going to need some iron plates, a decent amount. So we're going to need some more cloches. Not cloches, cloche. And this guy, we are going to make ethanol using melons. I'm not sure if I have melon. I do have melon seeds. Look at that. And then the seed oil is going to come from probably hemp. I got some right there. Okay, perfect. Okay, I looked around and I didn't see that there was any way to kind of automatically place it down. There used to be a projector in immersive engineering that you could use, and that would kind of print this out in the world. So cauldrons and our redstone. Redstone, the light, and cauldrons. But we just had to build it by hand, and that's not too big of a problem. Move up. And it should just be that. And I think I just need a hammer. There we go. And we're going to have items go in here. Then the fluid is going to come out there, which I think will be okay. It might be just a little bit awkward, but that is our fermenter. We're also going to need a squeezer, which we're going to orient the same way. There we go. So power in there and there. Fluid is going to come out from there, and I'm going to use fluid conduits from Ender IO. Our garden cloches will go over here. Grab my conduits. And that's these. These are pressurized, so I think they can operate on different channels. Priority, possibly. I can filter them. So energy is going to have to go here. And I'm definitely going to need more universal cables. All right, I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I had a bunch of footage recorded and I did a bunch of progress and stuff like that. And it was kind of just boring. So I'm just going to show you what I did. So I completed the setup here for biodiesel and have a diesel generator set up, and even have it set up with a power monitor to regulate it. So once we get below 20%, it'll turn on. Once it hits 100%, it will turn back off. And everything is hooked up. I've got item conduits set up. We're using melons. I've got a formulaic assembler here that's turning melons into melon seeds. These wires do shock you. Don't touch the HV wires. I could insulate these MV wires. The HV ones cannot be insulated. I did set up space here to put down 4 more diesel generators. This produces 8,000 RF per tick. I'm not certain if we're ever going to need more than that. So what I'll probably end up doing is building up on our storage buffer, because there's not a lot of things that we use currently that use power. And you can see I reorganized the floors. So I built up everything, didn't like it, and tore it all back down. So what I did was drop the floor down, so it's just sitting right on top of this green carpet now, and the cascading archwood is just sitting there. I changed it so it's not slabs here anymore, it's just moss, and then it's just moss here up on the second floor. It's basically just a copy and paste. What I will say is the cut paste gadget, there's some sort of weird bug with this. I'm not sure if it's because I was trying to use it in this like semi-protected area, but it was voiding blocks, but it might have been because I was starting the cut and paste in an area that was protected. So I don't know. Your mileage may vary with the cut paste gadget. It's probably fine outside of any of the protected areas, but I would be careful using it inside the protected areas. Test it out. Don't use it on expensive machines. I've got a bunch of HV and MV connectors made up so I can move power pretty easily. And I did route power all the way up and around, up here across the roof, down the side, and down through here, and routed it up to our world engine. These connectors can move 4,000 and the wires can move up to 32,000. So I could put multiple connectors on here if I needed, and I could also just put another like mechanism energy cube on the side of this guy. But now that's wired up, constant power that shouldn't have any issues as long as we don't touch that HV wire. Also upstairs, I've got a crusher set up with a dropper here. I don't know, can this go in the crusher for anything? It cannot. But what I did was made a crusher here from Irregular Implements, which is just like the new version of random things. Changed it to no effects and changed it to eject continuously. That's going to drop those in there, but they're getting picked up from my inventory. So I would actually need a demagnetizer. One of these guys. So let me make one of those to put down there real quick, actually. When I originally set it up, I actually put it directly on it, and then I moved it up with this wall block here. But I've got immersive presses set up here. I've got the plate mold in that one, a rod mold in that one, and the wire mold in that one. That'll make those machines a little bit easier. And I think what I want to do now is this portal vault, and I'm going to do this on my own using this thing. I actually forgot to mention it, but in the create vault, I use this quite a bit. You know, there's some parkour and stuff like that you have to do in there, and it was just really easy because I didn't have to do any of it. I could just fire and move around wherever I wanted to using the blink spell here. That was pretty helpful, but like I said, what I want to do today is go into this vault. So, got the Chronoton star. The vault here is pretty fun if you're into puzzles and stuff like that. I didn't think it was like crazy exciting. There's a lot of trap doors and there's a lot of buttons and things like that. Basically, you're trying to either shoot a portal, push a button, or climb through a trap door is pretty much the entire function of the base. And we did get the companion cube, and I did steal a test cube. So that companion cube, and I'm not certain. Yeah, I can't break that, but I think I can pick it up with the portal gun. The same thing with this test cube. So we could play around with those later. Maybe use them once I get some other stuff placed down. Some more permanent base fixture things. So if we head over here, we put our star, our glass, our silver, and our obsidian in there. This should work. Reinforced glass viewer. I have that. Oh, that's silver. I think I need aluminum. I'm not used to the new textures just yet, so... Alright, so there's our Chronoton glass and our depleted Chronoton star, which we can restore later. But I also wanted to make the superheating element. So we'll take one of those, and we're going to use that to help us make a resistive heater. So we can also take the resistive heater. Now, one thing, yes, we'll enable that on the back. I want to put the resistive heater on the back. Configure that to input on the back. And then we can actually place down our resistive heater there, and I need to move it. Not going to work that well there, but it'll work like that. We can pop that there and actually hook this up. So now we also have heat here, and apparently we also have to get this guy for that to count. I didn't know. I didn't realize I needed that one. I need to speak with the Echo first. Echo of the Wayfinder. Hey, buddy. Complete that stage. We've got an updated shop. Now, is there anything in here that I want? I don't know that there's anything in here in particular that we need other than this Echo Shard. I know I'm going to buy one of those, and that's going to complete this. We also get another gift of pebbles. Oh, we get a draconic generator. Here, we're going to need the enchanting tables and stuff. There's another hidden quest here, apparently. I don't know what the hidden one is. Click that. And that's going to show us putting down the glass. Hey, look at that. We can see in the, like, green squares there. It would be nice if there was a way to, like, preview it. But there we go. We've got Chronoton glass placed down now. Now, that did leave us with some extra, which we will use. We need to craft another set, but to be able to make this Chronon resonator, I'm not sure what that's used for, but it needs a whole lot more stuff. All right, so we got some atomic alloy. That's our top tier, and we're kind of wasting it, I guess, on the thermodynamic conductor that we didn't really need, so I'm just going to toss that in there. Toss that in there. That'll complete that quest. We get a couple more dollars. We get another one. Ooh, a netherite backpack. Oh, that's going to be nice. That's definitely better than this backpack, but it's... I think I'm going to save this backpack. I can't put it in here. But what I can do is place it down in the world, and then the next time we go exploring, we can take that for looting and stuff like that. We don't need to play that. We're just going to complete that. We can take a look at the shop. Now, let's see. Ooh, there's garden cloches. There's a power cell. Let's see. What else? We can buy electric motors now. There's some data models. Those are nice. The charged porter is actually pretty good. I could use that. I don't have wireless power, but I think using applied energistics, I could make their little charging power thing, and then we can put down matter receivers down wherever we want and use the charged porter to teleport to them. So we have new... Yeah, we unlock Solaris. Look at this. Unlock Solaris. So we got to meet the new Infernals. So if we head down here to the Infernal, does this hurt us? Yep, it does. It does. Hi, bud. I wonder how many times this guy has been greeted by somebody who's on fire. Any second now the fire can go out. There we go. All right, let's hear what he has to say. The echo's not working. Okay. Basically, maybe I'll try that again later. But he wants us to slay the guardian within the infernal vault and gather what you need to craft 12 spirit blocks. We do need to do some enchanting stuff. What else do we have here? Dripping upgrade. Oh, that's nice. Obsidian generator. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll also take that. We got a decent amount of money. Random apotheosis gem, a wither rose, wither skeletons, inhibitor obelisk. I think this stops things from teleporting. Oh, we can buy a creative blaze cake. 500 is quite a bit though. All right, let's grab that and let's go talk to another guy. Looks like the cataclysm has something to do with the end. Hey buddy, what do you got? Infinite water cell. Ooh, netherite upgrade. Those are kind of expensive. This guy wants us to craft the ender cell. So this is going to be another tech upgrade. And then finally we have the light ender. Got some mechanism stuff in here. Retrieve Fortron infused ingots from the Fortron vault and craft 4 Fortron infused blocks. Excellent. What do you have? Ultimate pipe upgrades, night vision, focus matrix. Oh, we can get the temporal pouch. Interesting. Ooh, the entangled binder. Now, what do we need to be able to get into like AE2? AE2 is a highly customizable digital storage mod. To get started with AE2, you'll first want to craft flawless budding Certus blocks using the world engine. This requires the machine block upgrade. Oh. Look at that, we could have already done this. Okay, I am not certain why I haven't gotten into all of this yet. Let's see, the crafting terminal. Yeah, we can make the crafting terminal. The start of automation. Setting up a quantum link in its designated spot and linking it to the world engine machine block using a pattern provider. Your ME system will have a direct link to the world engine, allowing you to directly request crafting recipes and processes from the world engine. The light bender seems convinced that this relatively simple upgrade will change the way you interface with the world engine. I mean, yeah, for sure. So let's take our dollars from here, and I think I'm gonna head back home and see if we can get into applied energistics. So we should be able to just pop an amethyst block in there, and then we get the budding Certus. Boom, flawless Certus. Skystone can be obtained from the Fluix researcher villager through trading from a friendly wandering trader or by smelting some skystone dust. You can also find blocks in the telepad structures for each ring. The void ring also has skystone blocks in the lower section. Apparently the not so mysterious cube doesn't do anything. Okay, so I'll place that down there. Mysterious cube though, when we break it, we get the guide and we get the different presses. Now we're going to need to set up the flawless budding Certus quartz. Let's see. So this guy we can actually place down somewhere in the world that is going to make sense. I think for right now, I just want to place this guy like here. So this will have some Certus quartz crystals pop up around it. So we'll have to sit and wait and let that do its thing over there. And then once we get some Certus, we'll be able to move further along into the pack. Also, the squat to grow does work on this apparently. So we can break that guy. Boom, Certus quartz crystal. And we can actually take a charger over here and see what we can do. Move it up just a little bit higher, and let's put that charger on that. Now that is connected. Excellent. So what I'll need to do is grab an HV cable and a wire. And we'll connect that there. And then this looks like it'll connect to that. And we can actually charge these. There we go. Now, if we break a not fully grown one, we get dust. Processors, oh plenty. The circuit fabricator is a multi-block that creates processors for all your network parts and technology. These do require power, but can access regular FE power from other modded sources. To create the multi-block, you will need some blue sheet metal and vibrant quartz glass and a mysterious cube, which can be purchased from the machinist or traded from the wandering trader or Fluix researcher. The circuit fabricator utilizes the same dimensional parallaxing as the world engine and is able to process up to 16 recipes at once. Nice. You can overclock the fabricator by placing up to 10 acceleration cards into its upgrade slot. Fully upgraded, this machine has the potential to consume a lot of power. So we need one of those guys, and that'll be simple. Okay, so I gathered that stuff up. If I throw that in there, that's going to work. 1,200 ticks. Okay, circuit fabricator get. Now, I did screw up storage. We need the not so mysterious cube from the machinist. Mysterious cube, get. How do I make the multi-block? Is there a guide here? Let's place this down and see what it says. Oh, I can't place it down in here. Well, that's not great because it's a custom machine. All right, that's going to be a problem. So if we go back to our home, we might have to do that. Let's see. Custom machinery has a built-in structure preview function that allows you to see where the block should be placed in the world. To access this feature, simply click the recipe arrow inside of the UI, then click the structure block in JEI to see the block placements in the world. The final structure should look like the picture below, with vibrant quartz glass on all the 3 sides of the mysterious cube. Click to view the required structure. Oh. Let's see, it goes there, but there's not one down at the bottom, apparently. Okay, take that, goes there, and there, there, and now it's a structure? Now it's a valid structure, I guess. It looks like maybe I'm gonna need multiple of these. Maybe, maybe not. So we're going to need a custom machine room is what I'm learning. The main crafting ingredient for most extended AE items and machines, you'll need to use Entro Seed to turn a Fluix block into an entrionized Fluix budding. Entro Seed, these seeds contain strong Entro energy. Right click a Fluix block with Entro Seed to turn it into Entralix Fluix block. Let's see. Okay, so how do I make the Entro Seed? Skystone. Okay. If I get the circuit slicer, or if I get the circuit assembler, I can use that for that. Now, are these used in some ridiculous amount of crafting processes that I'm going to need a custom multi-block for it? Like, why is there a custom multi-block for this when I can just go the other route, which I think I'm probably going to end up doing? Okay, so it looks like the next thing that I really need to get through is this maze vault. That's going to allow us to get these Fortron infused blocks, which is going to open up a ton of progression. So I think what I'm going to do is come in here, and we're going to search maze vault. And this is really far away. Okay, so I found the maze. There's some really loud ambient noise here. Is that? Yeah, it's this field. So we'll turn that down quite a bit. Hit the button to toggle force fields to progress through the maze. So what I'm going to do is work on this. Again, I think you guys have probably seen YouTubers go through this whole thing already. So I'm going to take my chainsaw and go ripping through here and figure it out. Okay, so we got it. 6 Fortron infused blocks. What I had to actually do was go to a different map. I had to go to the teleporter out here this direction. So back here, we can collect that. We'll collect this. Completing the maze will reward you with at least 4 Fortron infused blocks. This is a minor world engine upgrade that unlocks things like autocrafting or generating resources with an extractor. That's what I really wanted. The Echo of Lightbender should show you how to install this upgrade. Creating Fortron. The coercion driver will slowly generate Fortron over time. Fortron is mainly used to power your MFFS machines, but it can also be used to make more Fortron infused ingots in the world engine once you have upgraded it. And we should be able to complete that stage. Craft a quantum link chamber. Okay. What else did we get in here? A teleporter. Okay. From Mechanism. Some hostile neural network stuff. And some more Fortron infused blocks. And what I really wanted, if we take a look at Laser IO, we need to craft the logic chips. We need the Fortron infused blocks. So we submit these. Yes, and we're back home. So we submit these, and then we click this guy. And we should see these get placed somewhere in the world. They're going... oh, right there. Interesting. The coercion driver. Remember, it is primarily used to generate Fortron from FE energy, which other MFS machines require to function. A coercion driver is designed to work in conjunction with a Fortron capacitor to charge it with Fortron. Fortron is then distributed to the other machines by the capacitor. Okay, to generate Fortron, connect the coercion driver to an FE source and activate it using a redstone signal. Once powered and activated, the coercion driver will charge from red to blue and begin generating Fortron. A coercion driver may be linked to other MFS machines, such as a Fortron capacitor, by setting its frequency number to match that of the other machines. So we just hook it up to power? This, that, and that? No. Oh, there it goes. Can I pull? Input, output, input. But to say, oh, there's a bunch of Fortron. Okay. We're going to input. These I can clear. Set auto input to enabled. And then we can make more Fortron by putting platinum and iron in there. Okay, so I got caught up doing some work. It's been actually a couple days since I played, but I got caught up doing some work here, working on some progress, and I had to make a clipboard. So I went ahead and handled some Certus automation, some Ender Pearl automation, and set up some extractors. For Ender Pearls, it was actually pretty simple what I did, and this is just super temporary. So in here, I've got a Enderman spawner in there doing its thing. Also, like when the Endermen get melted down and die in here, they drop the miniature hearts. And that's how we're getting Ender Pearls. The Endermen get melted up. If we do entity melting here, Enderman will turn into molten ender. Now, there's actually a couple of different ones that we could use if we wanted to. We could put like spawners in for bees or blazes. We could do villagers for emerald, witches for amethyst, and even players like myself for meat. I don't know that we'll need that kind of meat in the future, but it's there possibly if we need it. For Certus automation, I actually made some advanced block breakers, and I've got here a flawless budding Certus. We made that. I've got growth accelerators set up with these little crystal resonance generators on the back. And then these, if we show the render area, this is actually the first time that I've used really anything from Just Dire Things. So I've got it centered around this block here. So this is whitelisted for Certus Quartz crystals. So when these fully grow, they'll break on those two blocks. And then to get Certus Quartz dust, I just did the bottom and the back block. So those are set up there. And then I just got some simple item collectors here from Irregular Implements, which is, like I said, the new random things. I've got item transporters from Industrial 4 going that are feeding into this charger that are being pulled out into this oak drawer. So we've got a ton of dust, crystals, and charged crystals to make the Celestigem stuff for just dire things. I needed to make some void shimmer glue, and I'm actually just throwing a cardboard box on it just to keep it from decaying. Also, the other thing that I got set up was extractors, because there was just a couple of things that I wanted, like this kivy, but we've also got blackstone, netherrack, ice all the way up to blue ice. We got mud, andesite, and basalt. I need to throw this kivy away, but the kivy I needed to be able to make the extractor. And the extractor, what was it that I was using this for? Oh, skystone. Yep. So we needed to get skystone set up, and I actually have that set up here because you can't place skystone down in the world, or in the world engine room, I mean, because it is protected. I think there's some skystone down in here. Yeah. So any blocks that are placed in here by default, you actually can't place more in here. So those would fit in there. I also got the Entro infused ingots because I want to get some crystal assemblers and some circuit slicers. Because the other way to make these in the circuit fabricator, we can't place the circuit fabricator down in the world engine room because it is a custom machine and it's sharing a tag with the world engine. So you can't actually place them down in here. So I had to place it down to be able to make these circuits, and they're pretty simple and they're pretty fast too for the machine not being upgraded. So although it would be nice if we could put this in the world engine room, it's going to be totally fine if we use the crystal assembler and the circuit slicer instead. So to make the crystal assembler, we got a couple of things that we need. A skystone tank. Going to need these advanced, or these extended machine frames. We're actually going to need 2 of these, and I think I should be able to get away with making 2 of them, and it shouldn't hurt anything. I need some Fluix crystals, which means I need some of these quartz fibers. These, let's go ahead and make all of them that I can. I think I might have some. Yes, there's some in this chest right here. Yeah, I thought I had some. And then finally, let's see, we need a crafting terminal, and we're actually going to need 2 of these. So let me get 2 of the crafting terminals. Need some illuminated panels, not the dark ones, the illuminated. All right, so that's our crafting terminal. We can get 1 crystal assembler, and then the other one we need, we're going to make the circuit slicer in the crystal assembler. So we need a stone cutter. Do I really not have stone in here? That seems a little crazy to me. I believe, let's see, I think I have some in here. Yeah, there's a little bit. We can just throw that into there. Let's make our circuit slicer. So we need that. We got 8 of those. We need the inscriber presses. 1, 2, 3. Why is there another one? Calculation, silicon, logic, engineering, and concurrent. I need another silicon press. So I think this might be everything. 3, 4, 1. Oh, there it is. Just didn't have an animation that showed up. So I need 1 of each of these, and the stone cutter, and 8 engineering processors. We should see this kick on. Maybe it won't kick on unless I leave and come back. Oh, and also the other extended frame there. Extended machine frame. There goes the percentages building up. Boom, circuit slicer. Now, there is a cable right here. It's a basic universal cable, but I just have hidden behind a facade. But I think That's not going to take energy. Glass faces that don't have ports can't connect to the to the network. Oh, okay, so either on that side or on the other side. All right, fantastic. So we've got that. I did make 2 crafting terminals. These were just a couple other items that I needed. I did need to make, I made an enchanter because I needed to put fortune on this because I bought like 2 mysterious cubes and they were just not dropping the right things. So I also ended up going through 3 different Fluix researchers trying to get all the presses. So kind of a little bit of a tedious process there, but we got a couple other villagers now. Maybe in the future we'll melt them down into emeralds. I don't really know. But that is going to be pretty much everything that we need to get started into AE2. We've got the crafting terminal. Oh, we get a storage bus to go along with it. Nice. And then that completes that quest. We got the crystal assembler, 8 concurrent processors. So I need to make 8 of those. All right. And that'll get us that reward, which will unlock the reaction chamber. So what I'm going to do real quick is get an ME system built out. I'm probably going to reorganize all of this, and then I'll be right back. This should get us controllers. Ooh, that used a big chunk of energy. Look at that. How much does that use? 2,000 per tick. But I think it's because it's running them like in parallel. All right, we've got controller and we've got some logic chips. So I'm gonna get this stuff placed down and get us into the digital age. I also upgraded, put another upgrade, a diamond upgrade into our controller here, and now the range is absolutely massive. It covers this entire area, so we only need 1 storage controller for the whole entire base. I'm gonna get this stuff placed down. All right, so here's what we've got. I crafted up 24 controllers. So we've got a little controller place down here. It's kind of fits nicely right in this spot. Could make it bigger. I don't know that we're necessarily going to need to. And in the future, if it was necessary, we could always, P2P and do a sub network, stuff like that. So far, all I put in here was an infinity cobblestone, but I do have it connected up to the drawers. So we can pop open our linking tool here. I moved our cloches over. I linked up all the drawers. I moved these drawers over here. So now all of our resources are being processed. I did move our cobblestone and sand and dust like that over here. And now for feeding our sifters, I just have a card here, an item card set to insert, because it's the way you need to have it set up. And then over here on the bottom, I've just got a stocking card and an extracting card. So it's stocking potatoes and gravel. It should be stocking potatoes. I don't know why it's not. That might be something I have to play around with later. I did go ahead and craft up the unbreaking brushes. So those just take some netherite scrap and a reinforced brush. The reinforced brush is easy. The smithing template you can buy. I did not put a drive in here yet. This is a 64K drive. So I needed a little bit of netherite. And I got that by just letting sifters or unearthers do their thing with some netherrack. And that's how you get sulfur, blaze powder, isnium, and netherite scrap. So they've been running for a little while now. But we can go ahead and pop that in there. And then through our network here, we can just start dumping everything in. Basically, I don't think there'll be anything in here. What I should probably do is get some void upgrades. 1, 2, 3, maybe possibly. So let's start with this barrel, I guess. Okay, we can't break it, actually. So, because there's too many items in it. So we'll just have to dump it out like this. Maybe we can break it now. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. We can just dump everything in there. And this, 2,300 out of 64,000. So I think we might have enough room here. Let's see what we can take out. Let me try and break this. Now it's not going to let me break it. So we need to take some items out. Go and break it now. Nope. So basically, I get to empty everything out and put it into our digital storage. This will make things a lot easier to craft now. Not that I was having an incredibly difficult time with it before, but it'll definitely be faster now. Now, there's some stuff in here. Now, one thing that I do want to note that is, I don't think it's super common knowledge. I don't know. It's not like it's, you know, some profound information, but applied energistics will actually prioritize external networks first before it does the internal network. So you don't have to worry so much about priority. Like if I take this out, if I were to take this out, let me actually put it back in there. If I were to disconnect this, let me grab a wrench. And then went and looked back in here. There shouldn't be anything in here that wasn't, that has a drawer. That there was space in a drawer for it. So like I've got a drawer for andesite, but it's currently full. So that's why there's some andesite in there. But anything that you try and put in the system, it will try and put it into an external storage first before it will try and put it into the drives. So that's something to keep in mind. You don't necessarily have to set the priority. I don't have to go to this and set it at a lower priority or set this at a higher priority because it always works for storage buses and things like that first before it does it internally. This guy, I'm going to leave here because this is actually something that I'm going to use for looting. So anytime we're out and we're trying to do looting dungeons and stuff like that, we can actually just use this ender pouch to put stuff away. And you can see when I open the ender pouch, it's going to open this ender chest, and then it's going to dump it into that diamond barrel. So that's nice. This guy here, yeah, we could probably just dump that in the system. It's not going to hurt anything. We've got plenty of storage space. And that's just with one of these 64K drives. Look at that. We didn't even get to 10,000. And that was like everything. One thing I plan on doing, let's see, let's take all of this. Take that, those. I'm gonna leave the chickens in there because this chest is gonna be like current project chest. And I didn't move my furnace yet, my little furnace array here. I'm probably gonna get some stuff set up for auto crafting next. That'll be the kind of next big hurdle that I go through. I do need to move this, this smeltery here. I think I'm probably only going to be using it for the Enderman. But I don't know, is there a better way to get ender pearls? Probably an ender chicken. I've got a decent amount of ender pearls now, so I don't think it's incredibly important for me to have this thing running for a long time more. But I think that's probably going to be it for today's episode. We pushed through, got some progression done. We got some quests done. There's going to be a lot of stuff in here. Enchanter. What else? There's another gearing up quest in here. Where is it? Oh, over here. Celestial Gem Armor. Getting resources. We unlocked the Dimensionalist. Yep, and that guy's for brushing blocks. Logistics and automation. Yep, we got into laser IO. That was nice. As far as magic is concerned, we didn't really do anything. We just picked up some stuff. We did get the temporal pouch. And I made the Auratech Foundry because the best way to make netherite, like you can do this kind of 4-to-1 ratio here. There is, I think there's a way. Yeah, so this is also a 4-to-1, but in the Foundry, it's a 1-to-1. So it's actually a lot nicer to do it that way. And I can show you that if I take a stack here and a stack there. I can drop these in. It's a little bit slow, but you can upgrade it with add-ons. So it's a 1-to-1 here with that machine. So that's pretty nice. But yeah, I think that's probably going to be it for today's episode. I don't need these books in my inventory. The next episode, we'll be looking at probably going through, getting into the Solaris chapter here. We already got this, so getting this next upgrade and then getting into this guy here. This is a major upgrade. So we'll push through into that, getting into Ender IO and actually additions, some more Auratech, Industrial Foregoing. So that will be a lot of fun. But like I said, that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for stopping in.